Welcome back to Hello Nigeria. Now, in case you're just tuning in, you've missed a lot, but you're still in time for some more sugar. Now, today on the show, we have an online media consultant joining us. He's going to be talking to us about online marketing. Let's look at the pros, the cons, how you can get started, and what's in it for you. I'm speaking with John Obidi. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you. First time on our set.
Pleasure.
All right, so let's go straight to the gist. Everybody's moving online now. Social media is the order of the day. Everything has to first trend on social media for people to get to know about it. So basically, what is online marketing about?
Well, in 2018, things have changed and moved from the way they used to be. So in order for brands to market effectively, they have to study how it's being done. And one area that I think that they're missing it is in the personal branding aspect. A lot of corporate brands are now having to incorporate an element of personal branding into their business. Gone are the days when people used to hide behind brand logos. People need to feel a person behind the brand. So when you see global brands, their front men are beginning to come forward and take personal responsibility.
I noticed that recently with Uche Pedro and Bella Naija. Before, she used to be like in the shadows.
Yes,
all of a sudden,
yes.
She's posting stuff as well.
Yes, it's important now for brands to come forward because the competitive landscape is getting even more crowded. Those that can stand out are those who are able to put a human element to their brand. So if you look at some of the most global brands in the world, their top CEOs are usually introverted people. But they've learned that it cannot just be about that. You have to learn to come forward and speak. Steve Jobs used to be introverted, but they learned that, personal branding is going to matter very soon, and they have to start learning public speaking, getting on social media. You had someone like Will Smith come forward and join Instagram, and people are now beginning to embrace personal branding. So even though there's a corporate brand, things are working. In order to connect with people, you have to take responsibility, personal responsibility for your corporate brand, because people connect more with people than with brand logos.
So online marketing involves branding, personal branding, corporate branding, and more importantly now, personal branding, because you're saying it's almost, is it really impossible to fly a corporate brand without reference to the personal brand?
I mean, it's not impossible. You can do it. I mean, it's like asking whether you can drive a car with your feet.
I saw a video of that yesterday. Someone did that.
It's possible, but doesn't mean that it should be done. It's not the most effective way to do it. The most effective way right now is by putting a personal face to it. And then after you talk about the branding aspect, you need to now look at the platforms, because this is online marketing. You cannot talk online marketing without social media. All right, that's when I talk about social media marketing. And then what are the relevant platforms? There are all kinds of platforms today, but let's go about the legacy platforms, the ones that have been here for a while. You've got Facebook, you've got Twitter, you've got Instagram, and maybe I could mention Snapchat somewhere in there.
And then someone just tweeted about not opening Snapchat and their business.
Yes, yes. So you have to know which of these platforms offer you the best chance of marketing to your ideal audience. But then again, it's 2018. The ways we used to market on these platforms have changed. Before now, you could simply have a Facebook page and you could say you're in business. But if you're in tune with the news, they've announced a lot of changes to Facebook, and now having a Facebook page will almost not serve you at all. So there are new platforms now like Facebook Messenger bots. It became really popular at the beginning of last year. Facebook Messenger bots basically makes it look like you're doing email marketing through Facebook Messenger.
So you send an email to everybody on your contact list?
Well, I haven't got an email. It's called like a message.
And those things are quite annoying.
Well, it depends on what side of the divide you're standing on. As a consumer, you might see it as annoying. As a marketer, that's money.
All right, since you're looking at the legacy social media applications that have been existing, we've seen Facebook. Now let's look at Instagram. The algorithm has changed on Instagram, and it's a lot more difficult to market on Instagram. Why is that, and how can we circumvent this?
Well, you have to understand that Instagram was not created necessarily to make the world a better place. All right, Instagram is a company. They have shareholders, and they have to make money. They make money by incorporating ads, advertising. So that might reduce to some degree the user experience, but they have to make money. And if you're posting multiple times a day, they cannot afford to just show everything to everyone, because that will reduce the number of ads that they can allow on the platform. So they have to reduce that in some way. And that's why the algorithms will keep on changing. Less and less of your content will be shown to your followers organically, because at the end of the day, more ads have to be
So
shown.
they want us to basically go and sponsor all our posts.
Well, it's not there yet, but it's going to get there. Facebook announced recently that their advertising platform is getting saturated. What that means is that they have so much people bidding for ads, they almost cannot take any more. So
that means we're going to see that coming to Instagram.
yes,
And I feel like Instagram's market is even much, although they say Facebook is actually much more. From your experience, which do you think is more, Facebook, Instagram?
well, it depends. For brands that are very visual, Instagram it will be the home for those brands. But for others, it will be Facebook. But then Facebook now owns WhatsApp, and they plan to take off the load of some of these ads over to WhatsApp. So we're soon going to start seeing adverts in WhatsApp. So the more ads are coming in, the more the algorithms will change. And that's why I like to talk about building your own platform. In online marketing, we say the inbox is the best social network. So some people, back when you could get a lot of followers and everybody would see your posts, people got spoiled in those days. But where we're going, you're going to see, your fans will see less and less of your posts. So you have to start building your own networks by email. So you've got to learn email marketing. How do I build my email list? You also have Facebook Messenger bots. How do I build my Facebook Messenger bot subscriptions? And the third one, Facebook groups. Mark Zuckerberg made an announcement a couple of months ago that people are going to see less posts from business pages and more from personal profiles and Facebook groups. So now people have got to learn to create Facebook groups, Facebook communities around what their brand is about, because that's the only way you'll get any visibility.
For those that say, I'm not really the social media person. There are many people who tell you, I'm not really the social media person, but they have businesses that they want to thrive. How can they go around this?
Well, Elon Musk could have said, I'm not really much of a public speaker, right? Steve Jobs could have said, you know, I'm a shy person, I'd rather just sit in the office, you know. Bill Gates could have said the same thing, but they realized that it was something that was necessary to learn. You know, I used to be a very shy person, even though no one believes that today, right? So I'm not really a social media person. That can be unlearned. You can learn to be the face of your brand.
Or you can just get someone to handle your account for you.
Well, that is doable. That is doable, but still, you have to get on there and put your face to it. You have to go on there and make a video. You have to talk to people. You have to address people. The most successful brands, even on Instagram, are those that have a person that people connect with.
All right. So now let's talk about how to make the most of online marketing. There are people who want to start business. You know, I could decide I want to be an entrepreneur today. I don't have a space, I don't have a shop, but I want to start online. How can I make use? You've talked about, you know, creating email lists, having one-on-one contacts. But let's say I've been doing this from a personal point of view, just for myself, but now I want to start a business. How do I go about it?
Well, you already have an advantage because you've already built a following, you've built you've built brand equity. There are many ways you can market. There's thought leadership, and that's one area where I have built a business in, where you teach people how to do a certain thing. For example, I teach online marketing. So there's a limit to the number of, even if I were to be monetizing via seminars or workshops, there's a limit to the number of people I will be able to reach in my lifetime. So I was thinking, why don't I create an online course that anybody in any part of the world can just pick up and consume? That way I have more time freedom myself, I have more financial freedom because there's no limit. Let's say we're to use this place to run a seminar, maybe at most 100 people. But when you can take that knowledge, put it in an online course or in an ebook or in an audio book and put it up for sale, thousands, tens of thousands of people can get that within minutes.
Beautiful. Okay, now let's talk about the dangers that are associated with online marketing. Some people do not like to patronize people who have put their business online because they're afraid of being fraudulently deprived of their finances. How do we allay the fears of these people as business owners? And as consumers, how careful can you be to ensure that you're not ripped off online? Well,
fraud is always going to be a risk of the ease that comes with the internet. There's an advantage there, but there will be this advantage of people being fraudulent. And one thing you can do is to educate your followers. There are people who create handles that look like yours with the intent of making people believe that that's you. When you spot these things, you have to educate your followers as quickly as possible. Another way to do that is to get your accounts verified. That is not a very practical solution, but it is one because not everybody gets verified. But what you can do if you cannot get verified, educate your followers. A lot of Nigerian banks do that by sending out emails to their customers about fraud alerts. These are the new ways that fraudsters attempt to get your PIN
Yeah.
or get your login details and so on. So if you're a brand, you're growing, and you know that the bigger you go, the more of a target you might be to fraudsters, you have to keep on educating your people. When you spot one, take a screenshot, put it on social media handle, tell them this is how you spot them, this is how you spot the authentic website, and so on and so forth.
All right, now let's go back to branding. We talked about branding earlier, personal branding and corporate branding. As a person who wants to build my personal and corporate brand online, what are the things I need to put into consideration?
Number one is what we call content marketing. Content marketing is basically educating your followers about what it is that you do. So let me take a different industry now. If you are into laundry, or you are into you have a fashion business, you can start educating your followers on things like garment care or the psychology of colors. There are people who do not know how to match colors in their clothing. If you're that brand who can get on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you live, and you can educate your followers on how to do something better, you become a thought leader in that field. And anything you point at, they're going to buy.
Because I see you do that a lot on your social
Yes.
media. You have 1-minute videos
Yes.
teaching people how to do this, how
Yes.
to do that, and
Yes.
post notifications, which is really, really brilliant.
I'm an open book.
Yeah, an open book. Very interesting. So basically, but this you're talking about, is it for personal brands or for corporate brands?
Well, for me, I do not like to make it much of a distinction.
Is it possible to merge the both of them, the personal and your corporate brand?
Yes, of course. I mean, I run a corporate brand, but people only know about the corporate brand when it's time to exchange money because you pay to a corporate account. But I lead with a personal brand because that's what gets connected to people. All
right. Now, for those who want to go fully into online marketing but have no idea where to start from, can they reach out to you?
Yes, definitely.
So do you train them individually, or do you have monthly trainings? Do you run personal trainings for people?
Well, yes, not personal. I have online courses. I run free weekly trainings on my Facebook community. So there's something for everyone there. All right.
Thank you very much. How can people follow you on social media?
Okay, on Instagram, I'm John Obidi. On Twitter, it's still John Obidi. But most importantly, I have a Facebook community. It's called the Smart B Camp Big Business Community.
What's it about?
That's where I do most of my content marketing. Every Thursday, I teach something about online marketing for free. Every Thursday,
really?
Live my Facebook group. There are about 56,000 people on there. So if you join in there, we'll approve you and you can get started.
Do people also do adverts on that platform? So if I wanted to advertise something and I joined the Smart B Camp, can I also advertise? 56,000 is a lot of people.
Yes, well, that's a selling point of that community. No ads are allowed.
No
Only
ads
education.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yes.
All right. We've been speaking with John Obidi, who's an online social media consultant. He's spoken to us about the pros, the cons, how to start, how to get better, and branding. We hope you've been able to learn a thing or two. We're going on a very quick break.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.